What is prophecy, and is prophecy prediction? I'm going to answer that question real quickly. First of all, I'm going to tell you the difference between prophecy and prediction is that prophecy is based on the information or the revelation that the Spirit of God would give you. It comes from the Spirit of God, period. Prediction, however, can be based on events. It can be based on patterns that you see. You make a prediction. For example, someone can predict who's going to win a basketball game based on analytics. Or we can predict what the weather is going to be based on patterns we see in the atmosphere. Totally different. People can predict the future based on certain patterns that they see as well. But if it's not from the Spirit of God, then it's a prediction, not prophecy. Now, the other thing that I want to share with you is this, is that there are other things that are involved in prophecy. You also have words of wisdom, and then you also have words of knowledge. Words of wisdom are things that normally the Lord would have me operate in, although I also operate at times in words of knowledge. But the word of wisdom is when something is come up, there's a situation or circumstances, and then all of a sudden God will drop something in your spirit, some wisdom, some instructions that will lead that person or guide that person in this direction. Do this, then do this. That is the words of wisdom, and it comes from heaven. It doesn't come from inside that person. It's not even that person's wisdom. It's God's wisdom downloaded into that person to give to someone so that they can walk in the wisdom of God. A word of knowledge is different. Word of knowledge is giving you knowledge of something that is going on that you had no idea it was going on. For example, I see your grandmother on the second floor and she's sick, but God is going to heal her. God does two things with that, the word of knowledge and also the prophecy. The prophecy part was God is going to heal her. The word of knowledge is she was up on the second floor sick. There's no way that that person could have known that. But now, because of the word of knowledge, they know that. Then the prophetic word that's released, but God is going to heal them. The word of knowledge gives that person faith to believe that God is going to heal them. And then God heals them because of the faith that's increased and because God literally spoke his word and it's going to come to pass. So ultimately, we understand that when it comes from the Spirit of God, this is revelation from God. But not all revelation is prophecy. For example, remember when God or Jesus asked Peter, he said, "But who do you say that I am?" Peter answered and said, "Thou art the Christ, the Son of the living God." Jesus said, "Flesh and blood did not reveal this to you, but my Father who is in heaven." That was a revelation from heaven, from the Father. And that's why we need God to speak to us, because anything that God speaks, things that we didn't know, is revelation. And all of those things fall up under revelation. Actually, even the preaching on Sunday morning, when the preacher gets up to preach the word of God, or the pastor gets up to preach the word of God, it should come from a place where he has spent time with the Father, and the Father has told him, this is what I want to share with my people, and then he gives revelation. It's not about preaching, a pastor preaching his best sermon, but it's more so when it comes from the Spirit of God. It's more so God saying, I'm using you to speak through you to tell this to my people. And when you have that type of a person that is in tune, that type of a pastor that's in tune with the Spirit of God, then that congregation can grow based on what God has for them versus based on me preaching my best sermon or my best message. Anyway, I want you to understand that these are the differences that we need to understand when it comes to speaking the word of God. God bless you. I'm Apostle Rob Wallace. And as I shared with you before, we meet on Tuesday night at 7 p.m. at the Purpose Place, previously known as the Moed Center. Our address is 329 Ramsey Road, San Antonio, Texas. God bless you. Look forward to sharing with you on the next time.